You're listening to the Game Tenants Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to the Game Tenants Podcast, the failed adventures of two gamers and the quest for Gamecast stardom.
AKA worthlessly lazy, but so game crazy.
This is episode 74, and I am Church of the Game Grinder, and as always, joined by my excellent co-host,
Jason, a Corpse Flood Gaming. How the hell is everyone doing?
What is up, people? What an exciting day today is.
Today specifically.
For every day.
Any day that we get to record the podcast is a super exciting day.
Yeah, that's why today is so exciting.
It was
no other reasons.
It was very meh and blasé all day until just now.
You're like, podcast time!
Yeah! I even put on pants for this. It's a dress-up occasion.
Hell yes.
So,
What you got for us?
well, we're going to talk about a couple remakes or reimaginings. Some cool movie stuff, as seems to be the norm lately. We make some kind of game-related movie announcement.
Seems like it.
And some little bit of rumors about upcoming games that could be pretty cool.
Could be. Could be.
Should be.
Will
Ought to
be.
be. Yeah.
Would be. Something.
Might be. Maybe. Anyway, so gotta ask you, what you been up to, bud?
Well, I think I can finally happily say, even though I enjoyed it, I finished Days Gone. Yeah. I'll get to that in a second. I'll quickly talk about other things.
Yeah, we'll talk more at length about the games we beat.
Yeah. Days Gone. I do want to share full thoughts on that, so just give me a second. We'll get there. Firstly, put out my Ashante and the Pirate's Curse Collector's Edition unboxing video.
What?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said when I posted the video, I was excited to do it, mostly because I've been sitting on the Collector's Edition now for like a month. I've had it for a while, and I've wanted to open it, start displaying things, check out the stuff. Tried a couple things different with the video. I'd be interested to know what people think about that. But
that's pretty baller, man. You just sit on collector's editions because you just got that many laying around. I mean,
yeah.
I know you got a backup. That's a
throne. It's not like your Throne of Xbox games picture that you got.
Yeah, the Throne of games.
But it's collector's editions.
Hells yeah.
But as far as other games I've been playing, finished all of the Capcom beat 'em up bundle games. The last one was Warriors of Fate.
About time.
Yeah, so played all of those. Warriors of Fate we had fun with it. I mean, design-wise, it didn't really blow me away or anything, but the fact that, at least you got super moves, you jump on a horse, pick up some weapons. Yeah, it's fun. It drives me nuts, though, especially knowing this was an arcade game, that it has friendly fire. An arcade beat 'em up should not have friendly fire. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that was the one thing I really didn't like about that one. You're like, really? That'd be like the thing like where like they'd hit you on your last hit, and you'd be like, you owe me a fucking quarter, dude.
But with us,
fuck that quarter in there right now.
My brother come over. We're just having a good time, and half the time, it takes us a few minutes to figure out that friendly fire is on, but then eventually it just turns into random trolling.
You know what's real bullshit in arcade games, though?
What's that?
It makes me glad that I'm not like paying when I play these. Is like the ones where it's like a one-hit death, and then you go back. Even if you put, theoretically put in another quarter, you start back at the beginning of the level. You're like, let me start from where I died. I'm your paying customer right here now.
Oh yeah,
that's really annoying. There's a couple I played in the last week that did that shit. I'm like, oh, it was really cool until just now.
Well, kind of sticking with the arcade theme, I also played by your recommendation, Blasters of the Universe.
Hells yeah.
It's a VR game about a dude that was like the best at arcade games, and he goes into an arcade game, and you going after him, and you gotta like shoot up his shit.
Yeah, it's a simple, fun,
Super simple,
short game, but it's really cool. It's got endless modes, so I guess it could play as much as you want. But yeah, I found like it was really challenging at first, but then when you unlock the right upgrades, all of a sudden it's just like almost overly easy.
Yeah.
But
basically you got the gun in one hand, a shield in the other. You don't even really need to use the shield. You can just dodge because it's a VR game.
Yeah, that's
cool. It's just like
a lot too.
A lot of different things coming at you and flying around. It can get kind of hectic a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then there's like bosses and stuff. It is pretty cool.
I liked it a lot.
I'm glad it was kind of short though, because I felt like I had enough of like just the game and the experience itself. And I think I played. I'm trying to think of how long it took me to beat it. It might have been like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's decently short, but it's a lot of fun. And like if you want to play it again, there's like alternate things. There's like a challenge thing they have too.
Yeah, where you survive like as long as you can,
there's ones like that's the endless modes, but then there's like the challenge thing where it would be like, oh, kill so many guys with bounce shots, or kill someone with reflected bullets or something.
Oh, sure.
Pretty cool. I thought it was kind of a cool addition. So it's got like a bit of a community to it.
Then the next game that I beat was I'm pretty sure this is going to be on a lot of people's like end of the year game of the year lists for sure, and that's Bubsy Paws on Fire. I know like everybody pre-ordered it, and
I bought the $700 Bubsy Tail edition where I get to wear a furry tail now.
Sarcasm aside, it's actually a pretty fun game. It's made by the same people who made the Bit Trip runner games. So it's just a side scroller. Your characters automatically move. You just jump and dodge obstacles and try to collect like jewels and stuff. It's pretty fun, actually. Kind of short, not a super long game. I think I beat it in like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours, somewhere around there. And you play as 3 different characters for each level. And then if you like unlock a few things, then you get a bonus level. And each character plays differently. Like Bubsy, he glides, and what was the other thing? No, he just glides. And then there's a dude that like slides and has double jump, and then you play as this alien in a little like flying saucer that's just basically a shoot 'em up.
So it's not the cool characters like we made up that we were just trying to help them out with.
Yeah.
We came up with Chubsy and whatever else.
But I'd say, check it out if anybody's interested in like kind of those runner games. Not like an endless runner. That's a little different. It's a fun, it's a cheap little experience. It's just, it has the Bubsy characters. It is a co-op project with Accolade and the Bit Trip folks, but it was made by the Bit Trip folks. So, it's fun. I've said it before. I like Bubsy, and I'm just going to support it because everybody's got to be a naysayer. But it was a pretty cool game. I actually got it's basically a limited edition for the PlayStation 4. It comes with the soundtrack and like a hefty manual, which I thought was kind of neat.
Sweet.
A
manual's only ever a good thing these days.
Yes.
You feel like you're getting a collector's edition if you just get a game that has a manual these days. You're like,
right.
Whoa, I'll pay $20 extra for that.
And then I started a Plague Tale: Innocence, which could be getting a lot of hype. Originally, when it was first announced, I'm pretty sure we mentioned it on the podcast. Said it looked really cool, and it is very cool so far. Digging what's going on. I've only got a couple hours in.
It still looks really cool. I'm gonna get it eventually. I'm just kind of scaling back a little bit with my trip coming up.
Yeah, I really I mean, gameplay is, I kind of dig that kind of gameplay. It's very like stealth focused. And then there's parts where you just have to like, kind of like move along with fire and like do little things to get torches going to like get around these rat swarms and stuff. But one thing that was really neat is that like just kind of the effort that they put into the not necessarily the atmosphere, but the scenery and the design. It's very I'm not exactly sure the years, but it's like during the time of the Inquisition, and it's in France. So, things, I mean, if you conjure up imagery of France, like villas and countrysides in your head, it looks like that. But there's a couple really neat scenes. It's not really a spoiler, but you come across like old battlefields. And that's like, I'd imagine that's what an old, like medieval battlefield would look like. And it's fucking crazy. It was like, holy shit, that's awesome. And it was really neat to actually see that, like, because I'm trying to think of like any other like games that kind of have like to this scale, and nothing even really comes to mind. So there's some pretty neat things it's doing. Like, I really dig the characters. I like how the game looks. And there's some interesting kind of twists to this, or not, I don't want to say twist, but just kind of angle to the story that you have the basic idea, like if you watch the trailers and stuff, but there's a little bit more to it. There's something else going on, which is pretty neat.
Sweet. It's got a twist.
So yeah, so once I play more of it and finish it, I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. But I think before I ramble on too much, I'll save Days Gone for a little bit later, I guess.
All right.
So with that said, then, what have you been up to?
Oh, a shit ton of shit. Actually, lots. Oh, not game related. I went and saw John Wick 3. That was amazing. I highly recommend it.
It's everybody, universally, I haven't heard anybody say any bad things about it, and I heard that they already got four greenlit.
Oh yeah, it's for 2021, and apparently there's gonna be a spin-off about a character that's kind of shown a little bit in the film. So
the dog?
No.
Oh, because the dog's dead.
Ballerina.
Would be a very interesting movie if it was about the dog. Be over in 5 seconds.
As long as it had the Dog the Bounty Hunter song, I'd be fine.
The dog comes back as
a dog.
Great episode of South Park, by the way.
Yeah, those are some. Hell yeah. As long as he has a sidekick like the dog does on that episode. Can't even see your face. Now I'm gonna have to watch that later. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then on topic of video games, I've been playing a shit ton of video games.
Yeah, keep that trend going.
That Castlevania Collection came out, and I went pretty hard on that for a few days. Right in a row, I beat Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania 4, and Kid Dracula.
Yeah, nice.
And
was the Kid Dracula, was it edited? Did you fight the ghosts with did they have the swastika? Or it's not a swastika, it's the reversed one, but were those did they have them removed in the game?
I didn't realize any. They didn't seem like they added much of it. I actually really enjoyed Kid Dracula. It was pretty easy compared to the other ones. Like, as long as your reaction time is good, it's pretty simple to play through. But my main complaint is I shared videos on Bloodlines and Kid Dracula as I was playing them, but then I just found it to be too much of a pain. So when I played Castlevania 4, I didn't really share much of anything. But that I actually uploaded some of the boss fights that I did, and the Kid Dracula one at the end was like pretty easy, but there's like like the classic NES style glitching where basically the end boss is shooting 2 columns of lightning down that you have to stay between in order to be able to damage him, and half the time they would disappear, so you just have to estimate where they were.
Mhm.
So I probably could have beat the end boss without getting hit, but then that kept disappearing, glitching out. So still beat him, but it's far from the perfect runs I did on a couple of the other bosses from both that and Bloodlines. Bloodlines was nothing new to me. That's my first Castlevania game I ever played, and still one of my favorites. I cannot recommend that game enough. It's probably, I think it's my favorite Genesis game of all time anyway. And Castlevania 4, holy hell, is that harder than both of those put together. Pretty easy for the most part, but those bosses, like the Dracula fight at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, the game's not too difficult, but yeah.
There's always that level that you're like getting through it fine, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, thank God for save states. Yeah. So I was able to save and just I think this one's, I get through an area and save, shit like that. So it wasn't too overly hard, but yeah, I figured out a good way to kick Dracula's ass at the end, so it ended up not being too bad. It was pretty close, but I managed. And after that, I started working on my top 3 Tuesday video, which I guess I've had 2 have come out in the last week.
Yeah.
And this one was pretty close because I just kept playing arcade games on my Pandora stick. It's $1,299, and I probably played 1,000 of them. A couple minutes each one that I wasn't familiar with. Beat a couple of ones that I really liked. I had to stop myself from playing, or else my list would probably be pretty ridiculous of how many games I beat. So anyway, first up, I beat Ninja Baseball Batman. I think it's becoming kind of a well-known beat-em-up game. It's a super weird and random wacky Japanese beat 'em up.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with that.
Kid Sure You Can did a video on that before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a fun little beat 'em up, and it was actually almost on my list because my list for this week that I was doing the research for was top 3 arcade games I wanted to see on one of those arcade 1-up cabinets if I were to buy one. Mine were pretty random, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun making it. It just, the crunch time was down to I had 2 hours left of the day when I finally got up. I had it all filmed. It was just getting to the editing. And it's the first first video I ever put in gameplay footage of. So it turned out pretty well, I think, and I'm proud of it. Now I know how to do it. It'll be a lot easier next time. So the pressure's off for that stuff. As far as other games I beat, I got my fill of beat 'em ups and shooters for sure. I beat Night Slashers, which is a Data East beat 'em up, and it was really, really cool. It's a lot like Final Fight and those kind of games. There's no super moves, but you're basically fighting like monsters, zombies, like the classic monsters are in there too, like Dracula and Frankenstein. Really cool. And when you beat the zombies and stuff, they literally just turn into a puddle. They just fall apart and right in front of you and make the cool sound. So that was pretty sweet.
The Night Slasher, a serial killer?
Night Stalker, you're thinking?
Oh, Night Stalker, yes.
It was Ramirez, wasn't it?
Yes.
Ramirez the Night Stalker. Yeah. It was pretty cool. There's it's like you pick 3 characters, and then the beginning of the game, they just drive up in this big van, and it reminds me of Devil May Cry because it's that same style of van.
Sure.
And then there's 3 totally different characters. There's some girl who looks kind of like a gypsy, a guy who looks like kind of what do you call it, Van Helsing type dude, and then another guy that's like Captain America, super 80s mullet guy with cyborg arms.
Nice.
Just has to be there. So I went through as the Van Helsing type guy. And it was a good time.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on. I also beat Gunbird 1, which is a really cool shoot 'em up. I believe you can get them. I think maybe only Gunbird 2 is available on Dreamcast, but it was pretty sweet. I played this game that was like a really cool very definitely inspired by Indiana Jones game called Edward Randy. You know he's cool because he's got 2 first names. Edward Randy the Cliffhanger.
Who the hell is Edward Randy?
Just the most badass motherfucker ever.
Did you ever look up to see if Edward Randy was an important person?
I can't even look him up. He's too cool. Like, I'm just gonna leave his legend in this game. You're starting off, you're just like basically standing on a speedboat like it's a surfboard and just whipping dudes off the other speedboats, and then he fights a train because that's how you do when you're Edward goddamn Randy.
Edward fucking Randy.
Yeah. So yeah, this game was amazing. Unfortunately, it's one of the first games I ran into on my my arcade stick that was kind of a bad ROM. Like it was like very action oriented, like a lot of moving parts on a lot of things, and sometimes parts would just not show up. It'd be almost kind of like in a newer game, I guess, would be like pop-in.
Oh, sure.
Where like something would just be missing and then would just show up. There was a bit of that, but I still powered through it and played it because it was still awesome regardless. And it was weird because it was kind of an older one, and newer games you'd be more expecting that kind of stuff to happen. In it didn't at all. So I think it was honestly just a bad ROM, which is a bummer because I can't take it off and put like a new version of it on there.
Yeah.
Like it was playable, but yeah, there was some parts where you're like, "Ooh, am I inside the train now?" I think, like in the first level, like I was doing that, but like it doesn't take away from the legend that is Edward fucking Randy. Anyway,
yeah, right.
Anyway, I definitely check it out. I'm gonna probably try throwing it on my Super NES Classic because I think it's compatible with that, so I'll be checking it out on there. Then next, beat some more awesome shoot 'em ups, both from Cave and Atlas, which are like I consider them the kings of shoot 'em ups because these ones just like I play other ones now and they just seem mediocre to me after playing these two. The first one was called Esp-Galuda, and it's just bullet hell at its finest, along with another one called Dodonpachi Daiuju, which is just ridiculous amount of projectiles. I mean, maybe watching like I featured one in one of my videos, and maybe just watching it might look just like a regular shoot 'em up, but after playing so many of these games, like these two really stood out. I played Dodonpachi, just the regular one called that, and then Daiuju was a different one, the next one after that, and they were both amazing. I think the first one in the series is just called Donpachi, and it's pretty cool too, but they definitely stepped it up for the next couple. And then the last one I played was a versus shoot 'em up of sorts called Twinkle Star Sprites, and it's kind of cool. You're like a witch on a broom kind of thing, but when you shoot things and do like they explode and they do combos, and that causes like fireballs and stuff to like go down on your opponent's screen, which is like it's a split screen. And I really liked that game. It was a really fun playthrough. It feels like it's really competitive feeling, even if you're just playing against the computer. So it's easy to lose, but it's also easy to win sometimes. So you just gotta be decent at it. Anyway,
awesome.
Me and my arcade games. Then I had a buddy over last weekend. We played through a couple games that I've beaten before. Turtles in Time is one you always got to play with buddies. We played through that, and that's the first time I ever had a problem with one of the games. It plays awesome. It actually plays a bit faster because I think it's the Japanese version of the arcade game. But the second last level where you're on like the hoverboards and you got to fight Super Krang, for some reason, like it was scrolling, everything was showing up, but for some reason the play area took place below the bottom of the screen. So in order to even see my characters at all, we had to like scroll up to the top and jump, and you would just see a part of our shells at the bottom of the screen. So essentially, I'm glad we weren't paying money to play this because we beat that level and Krang blind and actually didn't do too bad. Like we didn't die too many times.
Cool. Well, you kind of did pay money to play it.
Well, I wasn't pumping in quarters specifically. I'm glad this thing doesn't take quarters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely got my money's worth as far as it goes anyway with that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. I'm wondering if it was just like a fluke thing or if that'll just happen anytime I try to play it. I'll give it a run through again, I'm sure, at some point, probably with one of the kids. And then we beat Twin Eagle, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a World War II planes kind of game, because my buddy swears that was a game he used to have or play a lot, and then we were playing it, and I think he ended up being like, "Oh, I think it was Tiger Heli." I was like, "Okay, that's not even the same kind, but that's cool."
Okay.
So yeah, we had a good time playing through it. Anyway, it was a good old like 1942 style, more like shooter.
Yeah.
And then we beat one of my favorites, one game I used to play in our kids all the time, and that's In the Hunt. Which is basically like Metal Slug, but with submarines.
Yeah, it looks badass.
Awesome game. Maybe when I come down on the way to E3, I'll be bringing this down and we'll play through it or something. Pretty awesome. And anyway, that's all the games I beat.
God damn.
You're worried about
he does
long-winded bullshit.
He's like, kids, go lock them in the shed. I'm gonna play video games. No, I'm just joking. He's super responsible.
No, that's why I got those coat hooks in the room there. I just hang
them.
Yeah. I got 4 hooks and I hang them on there. Just, toss some fruit snacks once in a while. Juice box.
Nice.
They're fruit snacks, so they're healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so besides that, I played a lot, but I didn't beat a lot. That's the only ones I beat because
that's a lot of games, man.
Yeah,
it's a few.
Good stuff. I'm over 50 games beat this year now, so that's a good feeling. As it come to last year where it was a lot less.
More games than I beat last year.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on my just beat it. So I gotta do like a mass posting again. Maybe Paul.
You're supposed to post it when you just beat it because you just beat it.
I just beat him. Yeah, I know. You don't know what to do either.
I listen to the podcast. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, and you probably have seen me, like when I beat a game, I do a little post talking about the game, say just beat it, and post it and screenshot. Well, the Polykill podcast, like that's actually their thing. Is they've kind of shifted a little bit. Too many people are doing it now, so they can't really keep up with everybody. But what they used to do is they would say like a funny line, like I don't even know how to explain it, like, and then mention the person's name and then what they posted about the game. Yeah. They'd be like, "Hey, he slapped a horse in the mouth and got kicked in the balls." It is really funny, the lines that they used to drop. But basically now what they do is they highlight a couple like posts that they liked, like maybe it's a good descriptive Twitter post, and then there'll be the Polykiller or Polykillers, which are the people who've beaten like a ton of games. And did they make a Polykiller?
Yeah, they featured me as a Polykiller when I beat like those like 12 games in 2 days, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm getting lazy. I wish there was a screenshot button like there is on fucking PS4 and Xbox for this stuff, because you know how hard it is to be like playing a game and then like hold your phone up and take a picture of the screen at the same time.
I usually use my capture device, and I just.
Well, yeah. Now that I got that, I might.
Sometimes I use my phone, but highly recommend Polykill podcast. It's one of my favorites.
No, it's pretty cool. I've been checking it out on and off. And
kind of similar, you mentioned what we do. Their focus is trying to not play games from their backlog, but they also talk about game news and cool stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty
podcast. Great podcast. One of my favorites. Polykill podcast, and they're another kind of like associate of the Cartridge Club too. So.
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah,
it's always good whenever I check them out.
For sure. So then let's move on to our retro game highlight. Last time, Jason talked about True Lies.
True Lies. The bridge is out!
And this time, I always kind of wonder, like, what what do I look deep inside and ask myself, what do I want to talk about? Like, what do people want to hear about? And I don't know. It seems like this series is sort of like a little bit more divisive these days. I don't know. It's weird. A lot of people, wow, whatever. But no stranger to my love for the series.
Yeah.
So retro game highlight this week is Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 1.
Hell yeah.
I remember when the game was first announced, they had some screenshots, and holy crap, did that game just look, it's cutting edge. They were talking about a big focus on like story and the actors and stuff, and they were boasting that the game's script was bigger than Star Wars' script. I was like, oh wow, man, this game sounds awesome, and it came out. Sure enough, I'd been a big fan of Metal Gear and Metal Gear Snake's Revenge. Shut the fuck up. Get out. You're off podcast. No. No, so the Metal Gear games, Snake's Revenge was actually like it was possibly my favorite NES game for a while when I was a kid. I still really like the game, but I have other games now, just as I've matured and whatever.
Find out about more games. Honestly, there's so many games that you don't hear about.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid came out, and for me, it was like a game changer. I mean, for the industry, it was a game changer. It showed you what I guess cinematic games could be.
Hell yeah.
Not saying there's. It seems like it's almost a meme now that people like, or like, oh, it's all just movies and stuff, and it's like the Metal Gear games were like groundbreaking gameplay. They like did innovations that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of copies broken on the ground. Jokes.
Yeah, but I think most people will agree. I hope that it's legendary game.
Oh yeah, man.
Led into one of my all-time favorite game series. When you ask me what my favorite game series are, like I don't like doing like top 10s and stuff like that because I have too many number ones. Metal Gear Solid series is one of my all-time favorites. I have a Metal Gear shrine in my game room, which is almost all the Metal Gear games. I'm only missing the Metal Gear 3 3D for the 3DS. But I have Metal Gear Solid 3. But I just don't have that one. But I have every other game. Played most of them. I still need to play some of the portable games. Metal Gear Solid, so good. And
the word solid is in the goddamn name.
Absolutely. And metal.
That's why they dropped it for Survive.
I mean, metal.
They're like, will the series survive if we keep trying without Kojima? Because the other ones were solid up to that point.
Yeah. Great game. Check it out. I
remember like
cool too, but it's a little bit more goofy. Graphically, it looks great, but I still overall prefer the original Metal Gear Solid. I
remember when Playground Talk was all anyone was talking about was Metal Gear and GoldenEye because they came out around the same time, and that's all people were talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I think I pre-ordered it. Pretty sure I did.
You just circled it in the catalog.
Yeah.
And then went and bought it the day it came out. That's how pre-ordering worked in the 90s. Jokes.
We had Funko Land.
Yeah, I know.
Pre-order. Anyways, let's talk about some...
Are you going to talk about Days Gone? Said you wanted to talk about it more in depth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Days Gone. So I'd imagine most people have heard about the game, kind of know maybe the general idea of it, and you've probably heard what most people are saying. It's a good game. It's not great. It's not a bad game. Solidly good. And absolutely, I agree with that. Gameplay visuals, like the graphics, like surprisingly good, and it runs really good on a standard PlayStation 4. But gameplay is awesome. Like for this kind of gameplay, this kind of game, the third person open world deal, like, I mean, it does everything, like leader of the pack, essentially, I would say. But the story is just...
How do you say leader of the pack without the boom, boom, like the song?
A lot of people probably don't even... Well,
reference. It's a very, very...
I think most of our listeners are our age. So
my dad would fucking dig that reference.
Oldies, man. Oldies. I would definitely recommend if you look at a trailer, you look at gameplay and say, looks fun, I would say, check it out, get it on discount, whatever. My main gripe with the game is I think it's too long. The second half for me was better than the first half, like story wise. But overall, I think it just went on too long for me. It seemed like maybe there was something else that maybe it needed to keep me engaged. But I think it's just the story, the characters, like the main character, kind of a dick, But he was very, very superficial. Like I kind of saw what they were doing, and I don't know. It could have been a little bit better. Like, not saying it, like the characters were bad, not saying the main character was bad, not saying the story was bad. But it just could have been better. And eventually, like I said, maybe like 10, maybe even 15 hours might be a stretch, but definitely 10 hours too long. Like I could have probably shortened the experience myself. I did do like almost all the side missions, which I totally didn't have to.
So overall, story-wise, comparing it to like another biker-centric game, how would it stand up?
I mean, comparing it as a biker game, like this is probably like the best.
How would it even better than Ride to
Hell? Retribution, Ride to Hell. That's like Panda's like one of the worst games ever made.
Okay, so it's better than that though.
Yeah, it's way better than that. I mean, Days Gone like I said, it's one of those games. They've used this phrase on Easy Allies, and I think they use it on game trailers too. They call it swimming in sevens, and it's these games that like they're good games, but everybody agrees that it's just it's a good game. It's not great. It's not bad. A lot of other games get mixed. They got high scores and low scores.
Basically, what general consensus I'm getting is it's but I definitely am glad I played it and I recommend it.
I would give it more than an
That's what I've heard from a couple people, almost word for word. It was pretty good. And you're like, okay, so avoid it? They're like, no, I'm glad I played it. Definitely. It's an awesome experience and I recommend it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's almost like confusing reviews on it.
Yeah.
But I get where people are coming from because I talked to you while you were playing it, and my friend also has been playing it. I've been talking, and he's going to actually sell me his copy when he's done it. So I hope he.
Like I said, gameplay is super good. Like there's tons of different things you can do, like with like weapons and traps and bombs and distractions. The freakers, like people kind of scoff at the names at first. They're basically like 28. They're infected, mutated, so they're almost like I Am Legend 28 days later, but more like I Am Legend looking. They're hairless. Well, some of them have hair and shit too, and some of them are like sort of rotted. But just in general, like the freakers and stuff, they're all over the place and more at night and stuff. But the hordes, like they got like these wandering hordes that like have certain locations that they'll come out of at night, and they go to these like feeding locations, and then they return. And like once a horde, like you make a noise and like one of them like starts growling at you, like all of a sudden you have these massive hordes, and like it's pretty crazy because there's just so many. And honestly, I don't think there's a lot of games that have done like that well. Like Dynasty Warrior games, I know they put a lot of characters on the screen, but they just stand there and they don't do shit. Like, wow, super hard to animate. Where this is like full like hundreds of these dudes, like, you know, climbing over whatever obstacles are in the way, and, you know, dipping and dodging and stuff too, like doing their thing. Like it's pretty awesome. And late in the game, like it's kind of like almost abrupt and almost an unreasonable difficulty spike, but there does come a point in the game where like, okay, time to take on some hordes. Boom, have at it. It's like, holy shit, you got to take out these hordes. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I've actually got 2 friends playing it, and I deliver pizza to both of them, and it always like takes me a long time because we always just end up talking about games for like 20 minutes. I'm like, someone else's pizza is getting cold. But he's been telling me that he's like, it's kind of. He's like, he said minor annoyances, like sometimes it'll be like he goes to a mission and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you don't have enough gas in your tank to do this mission. You need more gas.
Oh, that was never really a problem, honestly, for me. Like you know where you are, you look at your map, you can see where you're going, and oftentimes there's gas stations on the way. Like you just kind of got to be semi-conscious about it. Like it was kind of whatever. It really was never an issue for me. Same with the bike.
So it was just like minor, but he said it also like sometimes he just wanted to go in on foot, but it like makes you go in on your bike, and he's like, I already left my bike. Yeah. So he'll get to where it's supposed to start, and he's like, okay, where's this guy? Then he'll have to, I guess I got to get my bike, and he get his bike, and all of a sudden he gets there, and it like cues a guy jumping out of a bush to talk to him or something. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. As long as it doesn't like kind of.
The game you typically want to, like, if it's a mission, they typically just want you to go, you know, because that's a lot of what the game is going around on your bike and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could agree with that, though. There was a couple times it happened to me. It's like, really? And I got to run back to my bike. It's like, what?
It doesn't sound as much of a pain in the ass as like Red Dead, where you'd switch out all your gun loadout, and then as soon as you'd start a mission, you'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
Never had that problem.
One pistol?
And actually, I mentioned that before, but that's really kind of like the biggest, I would say one of the biggest comparisons in a way is Red Dead with Days Gone. In a lot of...
You never had that. You never had that problem with Red Dead, or you didn't have that problem with
Days Gone?
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, you did. We talked about this.
Yeah. No, Days Gone. Always keep your weapons equipped that you equipped, and never force change.
I've never played any other game that did that. Yeah,
it's pretty annoying. So that's Days Gone. Final thoughts.
Cool. I'll get to it eventually. As soon as my friend beats it, he said he'd sell. He doesn't generally hold on to games that, you know, you beat it and that's pretty much it, unless you want to beat it again.
So yeah. How about some announcements? Game announcements, movie announcements. So I guess first one here: Ninja Saviors, Return of the Warriors, aka what most people are familiar with, Ninja Warriors on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I thought this was a completely new game, but I didn't get to really read the article. It didn't really have much info where I saw it anyway. It's more just like a pre-order link.
So Ninja Warriors was a really cool beat 'em up on the Super Nintendo. It's pretty expensive. Well, it's not too expensive. It's just $100.
As far as Super Nintendo goes, it's not that bad.
I guess. But yeah, it's a cool beat 'em up for the Super Nintendo, and they're basically doing. They say it's a remake. Graphics are enhanced, better character resolutions. So I think there's going to be like more.
Well, you can actually play co-op in it because Warriors on Super Nintendo you can't.
Yep, co-op. They're adding some extra characters, and I think like the levels might be expanded or something. But I was like, hey, pretty cool. Ninja Warriors has been really close to making it onto like my MGC list. Pretty much all 3 years, but I didn't. And hey, this is a good opportunity for me to pick it up for a more affordable price. I can play it on my HD TV. I can play it with a friend.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eventually be buying all the beat 'em ups for Super Nintendo. It's kind of one of my goals for when I realizing how many I only have left to get, and only a couple of them are expensive. Ninja Warriors being one, and Final Fight Guy.
Yeah. Damn it, guy.
Maybe I'll catch someone slipping. But yeah, there's a couple of pricey ones, but for the most part, most of them are like $50. Not too bad.
And so I'm not 100% on this, but I assume there's going to be a digital release of this. But for certain, Play Asia is they're doing the basically region free they just call them multi-language because there's all PS4 is region free, but it's a multi-language release. So to physical for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch.
Yeah, that's the first I heard of it. So as far as I'm concerned, they like announced the game. I was like, oh, because I love my beat 'em ups, so I'm usually all over news about beat 'em ups. And then I'm like, huh? Is that already out? Like, did I not hear about? How did I miss this?
Yeah,
basically it was like,
I know it's not out digitally and it doesn't even mention anything digitally about it.
Yeah, just like kind of announced the game at once. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm still happy, but I was like, oh, I hate feeling like I'm out of the loop about something, especially beat 'em ups.
Mm-hmm.
Last episode is should be show how much we both enjoy beat 'em ups anyway.
Yep.
Another one. Another remake I'm really looking forward to though is the remake of the remake. The original Star Ocean remake from the PSP is getting a upgrade, I believe, and a remake of sorts of its own. So it'll be out on PS4.
Yes. The PSP one was called like First
Departure, and this one's First Departure R, because just add a letter and no one will question it.
Yeah. So you're not sure if is it a full like remake? Like
it's the PSP one was a remake.
That was a remake completely.
This is based. It's probably just like a remastered version of the PSP one, is my understanding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's one of the coolest RPGs ever. Anyway, so I'll be picking it up for sure. I did ever grab the PSP one. I would, but I don't know.
Well, they also just didn't they recently.
Because the first two they got on PSP. Those are the only two Star Ocean games I don't own, but I consider myself as owning the whole series because they're remakes. So, you know what I mean? I've got the series. I could get the story of playing all the ones I have anyways, what I look at. I wouldn't call it a complete collection. Just like my Zelda collection, I have everything except the CDI ones, but suck it, CDI.
Yeah, you want those. I want those.
I don't want them.
I just don't want to spend the money on them.
I don't know. They'd have to be like $5. Honestly, if I saw those for like $30, I'd be like,
I'd totally buy them. And it's kind of funny because like the most like my parent, I don't even know where my parents were working at the time, but every once in a while they'd come home with these random ass like magazines that would have like weird computer games and other systems, like just advertisements. Mm-hmm. And they had one that had like the Zelda games, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, seeing the screenshots at the time, like, I can't remember exactly when this was, like 90 or something. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that looks amazing. So I knew about those games for like many years. And I just had this, like, I've always had this, I wanted them. And then eventually, I don't think I ever heard of them again until I think it was AVGN that did the first videos on them, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
Or somebody.
I knew about them for like a long time. I just, I didn't know if they were good or bad. But then when AVGen's video definitely was like, okay, I didn't think they looked that good. And I thought it was weird that a not Nintendo system had those games.
Yeah.
So that's why I basically blame those games for why like Nintendo's really keeps their IPs really close. That and the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, honestly, even as a huge Zelda fan, I have like no want for those to be in my collection.
I'm not like a big Zelda. I mean, I like
They would,
Zelda games, but
they would literally just be shelf candy. They'd be like, "Oh, look at that."
totally. I need oddities. I like having a few oddities in my collection.
Oddities are fun, but I don't know.
Those are pretty fucking.
I mean, there's a lot of dog shit in my backyard. If I really want to start collecting dog shit,
But you don't. You collect video games.
those are dog shit in video game cases. Anyway, so yeah, that's a game I'm looking forward to. Star Ocean remake. It'd be kind of cool to have it on a newer system that play it on. Speaking of another kick-ass old game, Knights of the Old Republic has a movie in production right now. Hope it doesn't go the way of the several other Star Wars movies that were in pre-production up until Last Jedi came out. And then they're like, whoa, scale it back. I guess people don't like Star Wars anymore.
I don't have I don't have any expectations on Star Wars anymore. Personally, that's me. Like other people, that's fine. So I don't have tons of hope in anything Star Wars, especially when this one. I mean, if it's Knights of the Old Republic, EA has to have some, because they published it, didn't they?
They published it, but they didn't.
So they might have
I think I don't know. BioWare is the one that made it. I don't know who actually, but I don't think BioWare wasn't owned by EA back then. Were they? I don't think so. I don't know. Either way, I don't think they got much clout with it.
Yeah,
really.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned,
make Star Wars great again.
The Star Wars was only alive to me in video games for years anyway. After I hated the prequels so much, I wasn't bandwagon hate. Like I had so much Episode 1 shit bought before I even saw the movie. I was so into Star Wars. I should actually thank that movie for being so bad, because I probably wouldn't have money for video games. I'd just be like, "Oh, new Star Wars things are out. I better go grab my laundry hamper and fill it with Star Wars stuff every time I go to Walmart."
Yeah, Episode 1 was one of the only movies I ever seen in the theater twice, because I wanted to be sure, I wasn't in a really shitty mood or something. Because I was like, "What? Okay, I'm gonna have to watch this again because I hated this. Something must have been going on." So I saw it again.
Yeah, even movies I usually didn't like, I would give it another shot when it was out on video or on TV. It took me when did it come out? 97, 96? 97, I think, is when it came out, wasn't it?
Episode 1?
Yeah.
No, it was later than that. That was
98, 99. I don't know. Whenever it came out, it took me till about 9 years ago to actually try watching it again.
Yeah, 99.
99? Okay. Yeah.
Great or something.
Yeah, so probably a good long amount of time anyway. At least 10 years before I gave it another shot.
Gross.
I hated it that much. I even liked the games. Pod Racer. It was a decent game, but it was probably the best part of the movie, honestly. God, I don't remember. Yeah, I gave it another shot when Spike used to play them every Sunday. I used to work in a kitchen. I'd clean the kitchen on Sunday, and I would just always have the Star Wars on. And then they started putting the prequels on there, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I still hate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they can make a movie about the game that's as good as the game, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as far as the Star Wars movies coming out now, I don't mind. Last Jedi, like I said, it needs a heavy edit. They could cut out Din's entire storyline, and the movie would be better for it. But there's definitely some really stupid parts on it, and I can see why people don't like it. I don't hate it as much as any of the prequel movies, but the movies I'm liking more are like the spin-off ones, like Rogue One and Solo. I like more than 7 or 8. So
yeah,
whatevs. So I'm on the fence about it. I'll wait to see more.
Yeah. And then we got some rumors for Great Rune.
Yeah, apparently it might be what it's called, or maybe it's the project name.
Yeah, it's the project name
of the From Software game that George R.R. Martin is consulting on. Apparently it's not an open world game like people were hoping or thinking it was from the first little bits of information that have come out. So that's, I don't know. If you're excited about that, I guess that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be kind of like a, not an open world, but probably like greater distances between like significant areas. Like, so I'm almost expecting like areas in, say, a game like Dark Souls or Sekiro, but getting from point to point, there's probably going to be a greater distance, less paths to go, just like direct routes. The horse travel is supposed to be a big part of it. And basically you're going around killing kings and taking their power. So I'd imagine Martin's involved for like either probably like character building or world building or something like that, because that's his jam. So yeah.
So that could be cool.
Awesome.
I hope they do like they put their a little bit of a different spin on it, so it doesn't just feel like a reskin of one of their other games. I hope it's got its own cool ideas to it.
Difficulty.
Yeah.
Don't need another Sekiro.
Like Sekiro. That's like this game actually has an easy mode, and it's Sekiro's.
Sekiro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we've talked about a lot of interesting stuff. But I got something super interesting.
What's that?
I mean, everybody knows because the title of this podcast, but Death Stranding, we got a full reveal trailer.
Oh yeah, like a 7-minute trailer. It was cool. It was so cool. I showed my wife, and she was right into it, and also like, what?
So we've had a lot of cinematics and stuff, and a couple or just random glimpses of the character just running around with no real substance or anything. But this is they're kind of setting up what everything is, finally answering a lot of the questions. I know the kind of people are still like, oh, it's 9-minute trailer, I still don't know what's going on. It's like, did you watch the trailer? There's a lot of information there. They don't need to tell you. I mean, I hope.
Well, do you want to hear how it ends? Because we didn't just watch a movie.
Show me the basics. We should be able to get kind of the gist of things. And it's going to be a third person, looks open world ish. I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're supposed to spoil the whole game in the trailer, so you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, but man, I've been hyped the whole time, and this trailer, honestly, my expectations are being exceeded for once, which is pretty rare.
I almost want to watch this more than I want to play it, because I know it's a Kojima game, so there's going to be extensive.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cutscenes and stuff, but there's going to be some pretty awesome gameplay, and that's one thing. Really, a big reason why I wanted to talk about this is just the negative, just the negativity in general. People are like, oh, fucking Kojima. It's if I wanted to watch, people are just making those kind of jokes, and I'm not even sure where that's coming from, because there's tons of gameplay. I mean, sure, there's lots of cutscenes and dialogue and stuff.
That ladder, though, I want one.
Yeah, extendy ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I'm sure that it's probably gonna be comparable, to other Kojima games. I think Metal Gear 5 is probably more of an outlier, because that game was just all gameplay, and that was kind of, in some of to its detriment to some extent. But I think kind of what we expect, a good blend of gameplay and story, and
people People are turning their like confusion into anger instead of like intrigue.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? I gotta find out. I want to play this game. They're like, oh, I have no idea, so I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping what they're showing is what we're getting, because like graphically, like holy crap, it looks super good. Like one of the best looking games, it seems. I know they're showing us a lot of cinematics too, which I'm sure.
It's not Gearbox, so it's going to be at least comparable. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's shot a Gearbox for Alien Colonial Marines. Whatevs. Deal with it.
But yeah, so it looks like kind of what I was hearing and kind of getting from this is there's a strong element of like getting from place to place and like making these like connections or something.
The bridge.
Yeah, the bridges, like, so I wonder if it's like pathing to locations kind of like is the objective.
It's a metaphor.
That, well, yeah, I mean, that's a given. Kojima, like everything's a metaphor. Yeah. But man, I'm liking what they're showing. Because it looks like we got some open world kind of exploration. Maybe some dudes like hunting us down, trying to interfere. There looks like there's a couple different groups at play here.
Well, I hope there's an antagonist, or it's going to be a short ass game.
Yeah, we got like it looks like a rogue force or something trying to basically like stop the reinvigoration of civilization. They're like
Mads Mikkelsen and his
I think Mads Mikkelsen is playing that role or is involved with that. And then there's like whatever this like otherworldly force is, which seems like very like ghosts. Like there's like a large emphasis on the past, it looks like, especially with these otherworldly forces, and kind of like how like where Mads Mikkelsen's like evil powers come into play.
Yeah, you can somehow like tie into the past because you see like World War I tanks.
Yeah, fucking just like one of those old like I forget what they're called, like
Kaiser tanks or whatever.
Yeah, like a big tread tank, like just like spawns out of this like stuff, and then there's like soldiers and shit, and like if this stuff's happening like seamlessly, like they could be putting us in some pretty awesome situations, which could be pretty interesting, and the context will be interesting, of course.
Yeah, I assume so.
I mean, it looks nuts, like hands down. But I'm sure. I mean, I've 25 years of faith here that Kojima is going to deliver, and everything's just gotten me more and more excited. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. More weird baby.
I don't want to see anything that.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
I watched this. I watched this one today. I don't even know why I watched it, because usually when I'm sold on the game, I don't bother.
Yeah.
But even from like the teaser, I was sold on this game. Like,
that's because this game, like everything it showed, has been like super obscure. Like it's nice to have a little context.
It's not been from like even like a fanboy type thing. It was just like this looks really cool. I'm on board.
Yeah, I media blackout a lot of times, and that's probably where I'm at now. Because fortunately, luckily, I don't know. They announced the game and became available for pre-order, and they got a collector's edition. And
you gotta get that baby.
It's super weird, but I'm like, you know what? I'm getting this collector's edition because I'm stoked for this game, and I like collector's editions. Of course, if anybody knows me, come on. Are you surprised? Yeah, it comes with like the briefcase, and it comes with the little baby in the jar. And
I love that. I love that the fake the meme one where the name is changed to "Suck My Dick, You Pachinko Machine Fucks."
I haven't seen that.
Oh, and it comes with for add-ons. It comes with a 10-inch naked Norman statue with rotating base and premium sheet of LSD tabs. Yeah. Oh, I thought I'll definitely have to send you that.
Well, I'm super excited. I mean, I hope everybody else is too. I've seen. We were kind of talking about this a little bit before the podcast, but the the Game Beaters. Shout out to the Game Beaters.
Yes.
Check them out. Really cool dudes. But I'm not sure who's in charge of their Twitter, because there's 3 of them, and they had a post, and I wish I could remember exactly what the post was. Oh, Twitter's run by Dan. Sorry. The post was about something, and he stepped in and was like, it's all for people enjoying what they want to enjoy. He doesn't want to yuck on their yum. And that's like super stuck. That's like really stuck with me. Like, I just love the phrasing that he used.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard that before. It was like, I'm sure that's a phrase that's been around for a long ass time.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's kind of, there's,
You saw that and you're like, that's mine now.
I made this. No, that's why I give no credit.
You just Nintendo'd it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like we're saying, it's just, of course, there's gonna be people out there that are gonna be trolls, but
and there seems to be people that just
hate to hate.
Yeah,
people are into this.
People are never impressed unless it's something they discovered almost.
Yeah,
there's more than 5 people worldwide stoked for this game. Fuck this game.
Yeah. I'm hyped. So yeah, it is coming out. Which I was
after my birthday.
Which I was super surprised that I was like, holy crap! Okay, that's this year. Sweet, November 8th.
Well, they gotta get it up before PS5.
Well, I was expecting it to probably be like a dual release or something.
Well,
like some of the other games we saw that came out in PS3 and PS4.
Yeah.
Like I seriously thought
it's close enough for them. They could remaster it.
Yeah.
There'll be 2 babies in the remastered version.
More babies.
More baby edition. There'll be the baby suit. There'll be the baby suit where he just is running and is just a whole suit made of babies.
Yeah.
You can't shoot me. You'd shoot a baby. It's basically invincibility armor because no one wants to hurt a baby.
Totally. Yeah. Death Stranding. Hype train.
Might be neat.
Yeah, might be neat. So then let's jump into the community question, which I am stoked about because we got some comments. So you guys are awesome. Guys and gals are awesome. We kind of covered this question ourselves last time, but the question for this week was, what are some of your favorite beat 'em ups and what are some underrated beat 'em ups? Because last time we spent a good amount of time talking about a lot of beat 'em ups, all kinds.
So many kinds.
So if you haven't listened to that, recommend checking it out. I think we gave a shout out to a lot of games. And
one of my favorite genres. I don't know about you, but beat 'em ups is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, they're great. I'm a big fan. So we'll just kind of run down some of the comments that we got. Do You Nerd says, "Oh man, love me Batman Returns on the SNES."
Christ, yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, I haven't played it myself still because I don't have it.
Motherfucker, it's a $10 game.
I know, but I don't have it. But
what's with you avoiding the Batman? Is that your trolling, like my Metal Gear Survive trolling?
No.
Just it's within reach, but you're like, nah.
No, I do. I wanted to get it. I just for some reason I haven't. I need to get it.
You do.
I will fix that in the near future.
I would hope so.
Let's see.
By next episode, I want that on your beat games list.
Yeah, right. BioPhoenix says, yeah, Blade Master is not great, which is a shame because it has cool graphic style.
Yeah.
But good thing you played Bucky O'Hare right after. Game rules. And he remembers owning one of the toys at the time, but had no idea what it was from until years later.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I might have had one too, but I haven't really looked at the figures. And I think at one time I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had Bucky O'Hare. Maybe the duck.
I'd like one of the some random ass one or something.
Because I had an Earthworm Gem, and I remember Bucky O'Hare, and I know I had a couple of other ones from both those sets. I think I had an Evil the Cat one, and the duck guy. I think I only had 2 from each.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Evil the Cat.
Oh yeah, I just watched that whole series again since the last episode with my sons too.
That's awesome.
Since I mentioned I did, and they were just all over it again. So that was cool.
That's awesome. So let's see what else we got here. Black Metal Gamer, Mother Russia Bleeds is the modern retro beat 'em up GOAT, greatest of all time. It's Hotline Miami meets Streets of Rage. Buy it now. And like I said, yeah, he's the one that was hyping that. I thought it looked pretty cool. I just, it's digital only, and it's kind of one of the ones I'm holding out in hopes that it gets a physical.
I was too. I actually double checked and looked around to see if anyone had it out already.
Yeah. Then let's see. We got Back in the Day Gamer says, he's going through his favorite beat 'em ups in his head, and it will always be Double Dragon. NES, Master System, Arcade, all great, but NES Double Dragon is the beat 'em up he's played more than any other. Batman Returns is a good one, and another he likes is POW.
POW is pretty solid. I like it more. Actually, I think I like the NES version more than the arcade version.
I haven't played either. And he also said that he just got to the end of Golden Axe while he was listening, but choked at the very end.
Oh, it's bruh. I love me some Golden Axe.
I love me some Double Dragon.
Me too. I actually think I like the Master System version more than the NES one, but that seems to be a divisive thing. A lot of people.
It's a bit choppy.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Zygor Gaming says the arcade version of Turtles in Time, the X-Men arcade, The Simpsons, and Golden Axe 2 are probably his favorite beat 'em ups ever. Shout out to Zygor. If anybody isn't familiar or doesn't already follow him, go to the comments of the last video, click on his name, subscribe to his channel. Longtime friend of mine, and he makes some awesome videos, high quality retrospective review videos. He does some game reviews. He's done the Story Explained series, which are super good.
Okay, I've seen a couple of his videos, but I don't think I have him. Maybe I don't have him subscribed. I'll have to check it out.
He puts a ton of work into his videos, and they are super good. Story Explained ones are my favorites that he's done. Looking forward to the next. He did Link to the Past. I think that was 20 minutes. His Chrono Trigger was piece de resistance kind of thing. Hour long, in-depth story summary of Chrono Trigger. It is done so good. Super awesome to watch. It's almost just reliving the game, and getting all the beats.
It's like Chrono Trigger for the visually impaired.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
There you go. If you can't play Chrono Trigger, we'll listen to that video.
I think that's it. Oh, wait. Linda, aka the Gamer Girl, says she doesn't have a favorite Wood video. You get the joke? Because we're talking about beat 'em ups.
Yeah, beat 'em ups. Yeah.
When I first read that, I was like, wait, what? Oh,
see what you did there? He doesn't talk very much about beat 'em ups for a channel called Beat 'em Ups.
True that.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite Wood video either.
When he used to do his Game Quest, which was, I wish he stuck to that, because
that's around the time I started following, was when he started doing the vlogs about not game stuff, or barely. He'd game hunt on a trip,
and then he just kind of changed into a format that is not really for me. Yeah. So I'm glad he's doing well, but
is what it is.
Yeah. So community question for next week
Well,
is related to something going on with
very soon.
Yeah, with Jason. What's going on, man?
I believe it's like, what was it like?
2 weeks?
Yeah, just under 2 weeks. 11 days.
Under 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Actually, it's
like 10, 12 days.
Yeah.
I don't have the thing currently up, but E3 is coming up, and I'll be attending for the first time this year.
What?
And I'm super hyped, and I see some people just aren't hype at all, or barely hype. A lot of people seem to deem E3 unnecessary in an age when Nintendo Directs are a regular thing and PlayStation has their state of play and stuff like that, and you can basically just announce anything anytime you want to pretty much the same size audience. So it's leading a lot of people to be like, E3 is kind of irrelevant these days. And I'm kind of wondering who else feels that way, or who does think that's it's necessary, or it's still a cool thing. Because I know I'm hyped, and I'm always hyped when E3 comes up. Like last year,
totally
ridiculously hyped.
Like the trade show itself, press and public, like a lot of that's like, for me, it's like I'm not doing any of that stuff, so it's like whatever. But I get to see all these awesome, demonstrations, game announcements, game trailers. They talk about like updates and like, I mean, it's kind of some of the biggest.
I've always considered like the biggest of the year, like the Super Bowl of
it's like
game
Christmas,
announcements.
Christmas game announcements.
Basically, it'd be like this, and
it's my birthday.
Yeah, it's my anniversary every year.
I mean, personally, I love E3. So it would be sad to see everything kind of just go away, and there's not this big like celebration that happens every year.
Yeah, I'm gonna try anyway for one of my videos for E3 to talk to a few people at the thing and see, what makes you think that E3 is still a necessary thing, and what do you like best about E3? Or, obviously anyone who's
love to see that.
Be there isn't going to be like, no, E3 is stupid. Like, you're like at E3 though. Obviously everyone's going to be like, yeah, it's cool. So I want to get pick a couple people's brains on the subject.
Yeah.
Hope I do anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, and looking forward to seeing some videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna be cranking them out. I have a new phone for then, so I'll be using that for my videoing probably.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about E3, and then let's check out upcoming games in the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Which
some cool
I think I'm checking a date here because I think this is incorrect.
You're incorrect.
Give me 1 second here, folks.
Technical difficulty.
Oh no, is I thought Bloodstained was later. So Bloodstained is that's the 18th. Whatever.
Close enough. 2 weeks. That's 2
weeks. 2 weeks. Too many weeks. I spoiled it.
It's
crap. Cancel the game.
Nope. Bring it out. They just have to bring it out sooner now because you've said within 2 weeks this game's coming out. Way to put the pressure on it.
I mean, let's see where my list is screwed up. I'm sorry, folks. Everything's falling apart.
What the fuck?
What is the new Justin Roiland game that's coming out? It just shipped.
Oh, Trover Saves the Universe?
Yes, thank you. Trover Saves the Universe comes out.
I saved your ass.
Tomorrow or Friday?
31st. So yeah,
Friday
it comes out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's
Trails of Cold Steel 2 comes out for PS4.
Yep. There's a game that Limited Run is doing a release for. I think they're doing a PS4 release but this is only listing it as Vita. Maybe that's a digital thing, but it's called The House of Fata Morgana, which is apparently it's just like super like heralded visual novel.
Yeah, the art style looks cool, but it literally looks like reading a book.
Yeah, I mean it's a visual novel. Like, I mean it is what it is. I haven't really played many at all, but I think I will get the limited run release. I believe they're doing a PS4.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so I think I'm probably going to get that, and maybe that'll be my first visual novel, I guess.
Yeah, I looked into it, and I was like, oh, it looks like it's really cool, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's just a visual novel. So
I think it's been a Japanese exclusive until now.
Shit.
What else we got? There is that. I mean, that really looks like kind of it. Warhammer Chaos Bane, which I thought that was out. My list is terrible.
Come on, dude, do some prep. There's Dude Simulator 5 coming out, whatever the hell that is.
No idea.
I'm not going to look into it either.
Yeah.
I'd probably regret the decision to look into that. Yeah, not a whole lot.
Which is, I'm fine. I like breaks.
People realize what's going on. It's high tide for amazing movies coming out, so no one's playing video games.
I mean, I'm playing video games.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm going to movies and playing video games. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, well, I mean, besides E3, what else you got going on in the next couple weeks?
Prepping to go to E3.
Yeah.
I'll be working on more videos, obviously. I'll be doing my top 3 Tuesdays. I got to have one in the bank, I guess, for the following week while I'm at the convention. Actually, 2. Actually, 2. I'll have to have 2 in the bank because I probably won't have one up in time if I don't for the following week either. Because we were going for like 9 days, I think, to LA. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, I'll be working my ass off. Try not to spend any money. I mean, I've got a bunch of money left that I didn't spend at MGC, so I don't even have to convert any money from Canadian into American, really. I'll be playing some more of these arcade games. Like I said, I made this list while I was trying them out and kind of made a list of cool ones to revisit when I wasn't just trying to get a feel for all these games. So I'll probably be playing through a shit ton of those. Still trying to finish Trails of Cold Steel 1. We'll see how that goes. I've kind of had it on the back burner for a little bit, and I don't want to get it too out of mind because I don't want to be like going back into it and like, oh shit, what the hell is they doing now? So I'll be playing a little bit of that this week. Maybe tackle another Castlevania game or 2.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. Maybe some VR. I haven't played some VR for a while, so I've been feeling some of that. What you got going on?
Well, I will be working on A Plague Tale. Really digging that, so hope to probably get that finished probably by the time we do the next episode, I'd imagine. I don't think it's a super long game.
You're playing it right now, aren't you?
Maybe. I'm not. After that, not really sure what I'm going to play next. I kind of decided that, I'm just going to see what happens. I wasn't pre-planning anything. Probably play some more VR. Maybe knock out another one of those games you hooked me up with.
Sweet. Yeah, pre-planning doesn't really ever go anywhere because when you it almost makes you feel like you gotta play this, and you're like, nah, screw that. I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
That's how I find it works out anyway. I might play some Telltale games, actually, speaking of that.
I'd say once I finished up Bubsy, I don't even need to play any more games the rest of the year. It's like, why bother?
Nothing's topping this shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what's up. I've actually haven't been playing much Beat Saber the last couple weeks because I was really cranking on Days Gone, and then I wanted to knock out Blasters in the Universe. But probably gonna start doing some more Beat Saber again. They actually just announced that there's going to be another content pack announcement. I don't think it's being released, but I think they said they were going to announce it on the 10th of July, or maybe that's the release date. So I'm looking forward to that.
Damn, they're trying to get some anticipation going, pre-announcing an announcement like a month and a half ahead of time.
Yeah, I will say, when they say, "Oh, we're going to be announcing more music," like we get like two kinds of people coming in. Yeah, people are that coming in that are suggesting like really cool, interesting, like unique music, or you're like, "I like popular song. Put popular song in game."
I really hope they put "Photograph" by Nickelback in the next.
I never want to hear Imagine Dragons and Beat Saber, which is like you would be I mean, maybe you wouldn't be shocked if you know because they're super popular, but how many people like are like, "I want Magic Dragons"?
Not too.
Put Sandstorm in.
Put sense. Why isn't it? Why isn't that like the demo song?
Like, I don't know.
That should be like the end boss.
I think Beat Saber has like a good niche of its music. It's kind of like electronic techno glitch. Like there's some retro wave kind of vibes. I think they're doing good picks for stuff that really fits the vibe and kind of feels good to play instead of just being like, oh, I just songs that work well. I don't know. Anyways,
do they have "Dress You Up in My Love" by Madonna? Because that's like the titular classic of a game I want in any music game.
You know what? Maybe they do for the PC version. PC has custom games.
Well, then I know which way I know where I'm going. Then
you can play all the meme songs and
like what the hell are meme songs like?
Meme, like goofy, like joke songs and stuff.
Oh, I don't know. Trogdor?
Yeah, probably. That'd be awesome, though. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. That's why next time they ask for suggestions, I'm gonna say Trogdor.
Trogdor and "Photograph" by Nickelback.
Before we go too crazy,
it's an endurance round. You have to get through the whole song and actually stand there and listen to it.
There you go.
Platinum trophy just for doing that shit.
Well, if that didn't chase everybody away, let's real quick let them know how they can get a hold of us in case they want to yell at us about how much they love Nickelback.
Well, it's because he's from Canada. He loves Nickelback. It's in his blood.
He doesn't like Nickelback, FYI.
Speaking of meme songs, I'd actually more prefer "Look at This Graph." That's one I like way better. Did you ever see that Vine?
I don't think so.
I'll
have to look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, how can you get a hold of us?
I'll look it up, but this is how you can look us up if you want to. So, of course, the podcast is hosted on YouTube and SoundCloud. Let's look up the Game Tenants Podcast. And then if you want to get a hold of me, look me up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Game Grinder, and you will find me. And Jason, you can look up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, especially YouTube, Corpse Flood Gaming. Especially, and hit him up.
Yeah,
hit me up.
I'll put up some videos once in a while. So
yeah, good. Like he's
3 videos a week lately.
And the return of the Game Corner.
Hell yeah! Oh yeah, you like the Game Corner?
I missed the Game Corner.
I like filming there. Yeah,
it was almost a year since the last Game Corner video.
Well, it was almost a year, just in general.
Video. Yeah, you've been putting out the unboxings for.
Well, it was like 8. It was like 8 months.
Yeah.
I think where I had nothing out, and I was just like, "Well, this is pathetic."
Nah.
But I know we got all caught up now. My bit of extra time is being used wisely.
I dig it, and hopefully everybody else does too. So yes, please comments. Let us know your thoughts. E3. And
how you feel about that Game Corner? Say fuck that Game Corner.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Game Tenants Podcast. So as always, we'll talk to you next time.
Cheers.
Later.